So to make the best weapons and armor in Starfield, you're going to need to upgrade your crafting skills. It's actually very easy to level up your weapon engineering skill and spacesuit design skill to max level in just a few minutes with this guide. And you'll only need 25 iron, 25 aluminium, and 50 nickel that you can buy from most vendors in Starfield for just 875 credits. That's all you'll need to reach max level. But I'm also going to be showing you some extra tips on how to make tens of thousands of extra credits on every single weapon you pick up from today forward. So hang around until the end of the video where I'll be explaining how that works. But starting out, to level up the weapon design skill, we will need to craft 50 weapon mods in total. Now I'm going to be using the Lodge as my base of operations for this guide. It's located in the Alpha Centauri system on planet Jameson, just here on the map. You can fast travel straight to the Lodge, and you'll also be taken here during the main quest. And on the right after you enter, if you come downstairs, you'll find a basement which has all of the crafting tables we need and a storage box in the middle, which is the only container with unlimited capacity in Starfield. So it's a great place to stockpile resources. So now come over to the weapon workbench, and the best way to do this is to get a ballistic pistol like the Eon, one of the most common guns in the game, and then we're just going to craft the cheapest mod that requires the least crafting materials over and over on the same weapon in order to level up. So the cheapest mod to craft is the muzzle compensator, which requires 1 nickel and 1 aluminium. I'll show you the fastest way to get the materials in a moment. After we've crafted that attachment, we're then going to craft the no mod attachment, which just removes the mod from the weapon. It only requires 1 nickel and 1 iron. And then we just put the compensator back on, then we remove it again, and we just do this repeatedly. Both adding the mod and removing it counts as adding a mod to the weapon. So it's the fastest way to level up your weapon design skill level. After you've crafted the first 5 mods, put another skill point into weapon design, and then we need to craft another 10 mods until we reach level 3. And then finally, we need to craft another 30 mods to reach level 4. And as you can see, just by adding and removing the exact same mod, we can level up to max level in under a few minutes. It's that easy. As for the crafting resources that you're going to need, the nickel, iron, and aluminium are some of the most common materials in the game. And the fastest way to get these materials is just to go and buy them from vendors. Most vendors are going to sell them under the resource tab, like the UC Distribution Center, located in the commercial district in New Atlantis City, here on planet Jameson. As you can see, if we jump over the desk and talk to the merchant here, she has 20 aluminium to buy, and there's 30 iron, and here's 23 nickel. And also the terminal near the landing pad sells them as well. In fact, you'll be able to pick them up from almost any vendor in Starfield. You can even reset the vendor's stock by simply sitting and waiting for 48 hours. To reach max level weapon design crafting, you're only going to need to buy 25 iron, 25 aluminium, and 50 nickel. This is only going to cost you a total of 875 credits to do. Alternatively, you can just manually farm these resources from planets that have them, but it's obviously going to be much slower than just buying them. Once you have everything, just come back to the lodge and craft everything until you reach max level. And then you can move on to leveling up the spacesuit design skill, which is slightly different. So come to the spacesuit workbench, and we can upgrade either helmets, spacesuits, or jetpacks. But the most efficient mod to level up is going to be to upgrade the helmet specifically. It doesn't matter what space helmet you use for this though. We're going to click on mod slot 1, and then we're going to add the mod that requires the least resources, which is ballistic shielding. It only requires 1 nickel and 1 cosmetic. So we craft this mod, and then again we just craft the no mod option for 1 aluminium and 1 sealant. And we do this repeatedly to level up our spacesuit design skill. And once again, in total, we must craft 50 armor mods to level up to max level, which again can be easily done in just a few minutes. As for how to get all of the materials, you can use the exact same method I just showed you, because you can also buy both sealant and cosmetic from the vendors as well. But this time you'll need 25 nickel, 25 cosmetic, 25 aluminium, and 25 sealant, which will cost you 700 credits in total. Now, after you've maxed out both your armor crafting and your weapon crafting, you're going to want to start upgrading your spacesuit and weapons with the best possible mods. So this is what you're going to want to do next. Besides liking the video if you find it helpful, you're going to want to come here in the basement of the lodge to the research lab. Here we can research how to craft the different modifications for each armor set and weapons. Let's say we want to research the barrel mods. You can see the materials we require to research this just here. If you also press X to track the project, the game will then tag the materials you need in the environment with this magnifying glass, so you know what you need to pick up when you're out and about adventuring. Just click on the required materials to complete the research and you'll unlock barrel mods too to research, and so on. Obviously, researching all of the items will unlock more weapon mods and armor mods to craft, so you can make your weapons and armor more powerful. The most efficient way of doing this is adding the research lab to your ship with the HAB module named Science Lab. This makes it much easier to unlock everything as you play. But please, before you get the research method skill, if you're wondering if it's worth getting or not, let me tell you now, just don't get it. It only slightly reduces the material cost for the research, and in the grand scheme of things, it's really worthless, considering how plentiful most of the resources are to obtain. And once you've finished all of the possible research, you've then got 4 skill points sitting inside this skill absolutely wasted. So unless Bethesda adds an ability to reset all your skill points in the future, it's definitely not ever worth taking. I've already made guides which I'll link below on where to find the best armor set and weapon locations in the entire game. And in those videos, I go over the best upgrades for those weapons and armor sets, and now you have the skill requirements to actually mod them. But next, I'm going to be showing you how to make tens of thousands of credits in Starfield by using your crafting skills. You see, whenever you defeat enemies in Starfield, they'll obviously drop weapons that you can loot. But before you sell the weapons, you should actually bring them to the lodge or a crafting bench in your ship and simply add modifications to them, because each individual weapon mod actually adds thousands of credits in value to each weapon. For example, this unmodded XM2311 is worth 18,040 credits. If I just add a compensator, it adds 1,230 credits to the value, and it only cost me 1 nickel and 1 aluminium, which I can buy for 15 credits from any vendor. So I make 1,200 credits in profit. If instead I was to add a suppressor to the weapon, which is a level 2 mod, it would add 2,870 credits to the total value of the weapon. And the cost of the materials to do this is very low in comparison. Some mods on different weapons are going to add more value than others. Like a large magazine mod adds 4,100 credits to the value. And again, it costs you literally nothing to do. So if I fully mod this weapon, it's going to increase the total value by 15,580 credits. And we can do this for every single weapon we come across. For example, this mag shot, which is currently worth 17,070 credits, but if we mod it, we can increase the value to 44,382 credits. That's going to give me a profit of 27,312 credits by just modding the weapon. Obviously, how much you sell these items for is going to depend on your character's commerce skill. But since on average we can add between 10,000 and 30,000 credits per weapon, and you pick up so many weapons, it's just a very easy way to make extra money if you're modifying all the weapons you pick up and actively buying all of the materials you come across at vendors. You'll always be making a profit. But the problem is, where do you sell all of these weapons for unlimited credits? Because most vendors have a cap to the amount of credits they have, unless you wait 48 hours to reset them. But in this next guide, I'll show you a location you can find to essentially farm these vendors for unlimited credits. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'll see you in the next one.